point. What else do marketers need to consider?
Branding. Creating that unique identity, a name, logo, overall image that conveys the brand's essence, helps it stand out.
Branding is so powerful. A strong brand, instant recognition, trust. People will pay more for it, like Apple innovation, design, quality.
Exactly. People will pay more for a brand they trust. And don't forget packaging.
Packaging. Never really thought of that as a major decision. Isn't it just, protecting the product during shipping?
It's so much more than that. Packaging attracts attention, communicates information, can even influence whether someone buys it or not.
Okay, now I'm curious. Tell me about this power of packaging.
Think perfume or a fancy chocolate bar. The packaging can be just as important as the product itself, creating that sense of luxury, maybe exclusivity, indulgence even. It's an experience that starts before they even open it.
Okay, seeing packaging in a whole new light now. It's not just a container, it's a marketing tool.
Right. And labeling, too. More than just a name, it's giving the customer crucial information.
So ingredients, nutritional info, how to use it, safety warnings, where it's from, all that.
Exactly. Labeling influences decisions, make sure you're following the rules, can even build trust. Transparency, giving customers what they need to choose.
Okay, labeling's part of the puzzle. We've talked about those individual product decisions, but what about decisions about broader offerings, like product lines and product mixes?
A product line is a group of related products marketed under one brand name. Think Nike, they've got lines for running shoes, basketball shoes, cleats, apparel, and so on.
Okay, so it's a family of products, same brand, often targeting a specific market segment.
Exactly. Marketers have to decide how long that product line should be, how many products, and whether to fill or stretch the line.
Okay, what does filling and stretching mean?
Product line filling means adding more items within the current range. So Nike might add a new style of running shoe or a new color to their existing running shoe line.
More variety within a category.
Exactly. And then stretching, that's about extending the line beyond its current range. You can stretch up, moving into a more premium segment, or stretch down into a more affordable segment.
So if Nike introduced a line of high-end designer sneakers or a line of budget-friendly shoes for kids, that's stretching.
Exactly. And those decisions, usually driven by market opportunities, what competitors are doing, or just wanting to appeal to more people.
Makes sense. Strategically important for growth and all that.
Yeah.
What about product mix decisions?
Product mix, sometimes called a product portfolio, that's the set of all the product lines a company offers. So for Nike, all their lines, shoes, apparel, accessories, their whole catalog.
So a bird's eye view of everything they sell.
Right. Marketers need to decide about the width, length, depth, and consistency of that mix.
That's a lot of dimensions. Break it down for me.
Sure. Product mix width is the number of different product lines. So Nike adds a line for, say, outdoor gear that increases the width.
Adding more breadth to their offerings. What about length?
Length is the total number of items within all the lines. So Nike adds new styles of running shoes that increases the length.
More depth within the category.
Right. Then there's depth, the number of variations of each product. So Nike offers a specific running shoe in different sizes, colors, widths.
Giving customers more choices, ways to customize.
Exactly. And finally, consistency. How closely related the lines are in terms of how they're used, production, distribution, even brand image.
So a company like Nike, pretty high consistency because it's all sports, athletic wear. But a company like, say, General Electric, they make everything from appliances to jet engines, less consistent.
You got it. And these dimensions can change over time. Companies grow, evolve, the market changes.
I'm seeing how these decisions about product lines, product mix, it's big picture strategy, not just about individual products, but a whole portfolio.
You got it. Seeing the forest for the trees. Making sure your product strategy matches your overall business strategy.
Right, that's a great look at product strategy. Product levels, classification, individual decisions, and the complexities of product lines and mixes. But we're not done yet, are we? We still need to talk about services.
Right. We've been focusing on those physical products, but services are huge and they're different. Marketers need to consider that.
Okay, ready to dive into services. What are some key differences between marketing a product and marketing a service?
Biggest one, services are intangible. You can't see them, touch them like a product. It's an action, a performance, an experience.
You can't try on a haircut before you buy it, or test drive a financial consultation.
Exactly. A massage, therapy session, a concert, a flight, all about the experience, not a tangible good.
Okay, that makes marketing them trickier.
Yeah.
How do you get someone to buy something they can't see or touch?
You have to get creative, make the intangible tangible, highlight the benefits, evoke those emotions the service will provide. Storytelling, testimonials, building that trust.
You're selling the promise of the experience. What else is unique about services?
Another biggie is inseparability. This means services are produced and consumed at the same time. The provider, the customer are both there during the service, so the interaction between them becomes part of the experience.
So a haircut, the stylist, and the customer are both there, right? And it depends not just on the stylist's skill, but how they interact with the customer, make them feel comfortable.
Exactly. It's collaborative. And that can be tricky for marketers. Managing expectations, training staff, a welcoming environment where customers feel valued.
Okay, so inseparability highlights that human element. Any other characteristics we need to know?
Variability. The quality of a service can vary depending on who's providing it, when, where, how it's provided.
So same restaurant, two different visits could be different experiences, different server, how busy it is, even your own mood that day.
Exactly. Variability is tough for marketers because it's hard to standardize the service, ensure consistent quality.
Not like a factory, where you control everything.
Exactly. So with services, you have to minimize that variability, make sure the experience is consistently good, training, standardized procedures, quality checks.
Tricky to manage. What's that last characteristic?
Perishability. Services, you can't store them or inventory them like a product. If you don't sell that haircut, that plane ticket, that revenue is gone.
Perishable, meaning they're time-bound, can't be saved for later.
Right. That creates challenges for managing supply and demand. Too much capacity, you're wasting resources. Not enough, you're turning people away.
So marketers have to get good at forecasting right. Make sure they have the right resources at the right time to meet that demand.
Exactly, using data, analytics, some intuition even. Predict demand, adjust pricing, promotions, staffing.
Okay, seeing how marketing services is a different way of thinking. It's managing expectations, those relationships, consistently good experiences.
Great way to put it. And while it's challenging, there's huge opportunity to create value, build loyalty.
All right, great insights into services. Now let's talk about branding. What makes a brand great, and how do companies build those iconic brands we all know?
Branding. So fascinating. It's not just a name, a logo. It's a personality, a story, values that connect with people, create that lasting emotional connection.
I love that. Like brands have a soul, something that draws you in.
Exactly. Think of your favorite brands. What pops into your head? What feelings?
Well, Disney. I think magic, happiness, family. Apple, its innovation, that sleek design, easy to use. Patagonia, maybe it's environmentalism, adventure, quality.
See, each of those brands has built a distinct identity, a set of associations in your mind. That's branding, creating something that resonates, that inspires that connection and loyalty.
So how do they do it? Build those strong brands. What are the steps?
Starts with brand positioning, how you want your brand to be perceived by your target audience compared to the competition, finding that unique space in the market.
So like a blueprint for how you want your brand to be seen, experienced.
Exactly. And you can position a brand on different levels. The tangible, the intangible, product attributes, benefits, beliefs and values, even personality.
I'm listening. Break down those levels for me.
Most basic level, positioning by product attributes, the tangible stuff. Size, weight, color, materials, what it does.
So for a car, you might highlight its fuel efficiency, horsepower, safety features. For a smartphone, screen size, camera resolution, processing power.
Exactly. But focusing only on attributes, it's risky. Those features are easily copied.
Right. Hard to stand out in a specs war.
That's why many brands go beyond attributes, focus on positioning by benefits. The advantages for the customer, how it solves their problems, makes their life better.
So not just this phone has a 12-megapixel camera, but more like capture those amazing moments with our incredible camera, never miss a memory.
Exactly. What it does for the customer, not just what it is, appealing to emotions.
More compelling, I get it. What about positioning by beliefs and values?
This is where it gets really interesting. This goes beyond features, benefits. It's tapping into those deeper values your audience holds.
So Patagonia, they're not just selling clothes, they're selling environmentalism, a love for nature.
Precisely. Aligning with values that resonate, creating a shared purpose.
Powerful loyalty builder. You're buying into a lifestyle, a whole worldview.
Exactly. And then there's positioning by personality, giving your brand human-like qualities. Makes it relatable.
So a brand could be positioned as friendly, adventurous, sophisticated.
Think Geico, the gecko mascot. Makes them friendly, approachable. Or Old Spice, humor, a little absurd even. Memorable personality.
Okay, giving a brand a personality makes it stand out. You're interacting with a friend, not just a company.
Yeah.
So brand positioning is crucial. Different levels to consider. What happens next?
You've got your positioning, now you need a name. A name that reflects that positioning, resonates with your target.
The name, it's the foundation, what people think of first.
Exactly. A few key things to consider. First, easy to pronounce, easy to remember. Don't want people struggling to say it or forgetting it right away.
Short, catchy, memorable.
Right. It also helps if the name suggests something about what the product does, its benefits.
So like Head and Shoulders for a dandruff shampoo, you know right away what it's for.
Exactly. Clear, benefit-driven. Another important thing is extendability. Can the name work for other products or services later on if the brand grows?
So a name like Amazon started with books, but broad enough to encompass, well, pretty much everything now.
Precisely. Room for growth.
Extendability, important for the long term. What else?
The name should be distinctive, legally protectable, no trademark issues, or sounding too much like another brand.
Unique, memorable stands out, like finding that perfect website name.
Exactly. Choosing a brand name is strategic. Needs research, careful thought. Once you have that name, you need a brand sponsorship strategy.
What does brand sponsorship even mean? Like the brand gets a sponsor?
Not quite. Brand sponsorship is about who owns the brand, who manages it.
What are the different ways to do that?
Most common is a manufacturer's brand, sometimes called a national brand. The maker produces, markets the product under their name. Nike, Sony, Kellogg's, those kinds of brands.
The big established names, you see them everywhere.
Exactly. Strong presence, often a higher price. Then you have private brands, store brands, distributor brands, owned and marketed by retailers, not the manufacturer.
Like Target's Up and Up brand or Costco's Kirkland signature.
Yes, often priced lower than national brands. Good value for a lot of people.
I see the appeal. Same quality, cheaper, other options.
Licensing. One company lets another company use their brand name.
Like a cartoon character on toys, clothes.
Exactly. Extends the brand's reach, more revenue without having to make the products. And lastly, co-branding. Two established brands team up.
A fashion designer and a sportswear company make a limited edition line.
Exactly. Co-branding can be great for both. Tapping into new customers, leveraging each other's strengths, creating something new.
Lots of ways to approach brand sponsorship then. Finding the one that fits the brand's goals, resources.
Right. No single right answer. It depends. Now let's talk brand development.
Okay, we've positioned the brand, got the name, the sponsorship strategy. What is brand development all about?
Brand development is about growing, evolving the brand over time, staying relevant, adapting to the market, finding new ways to connect with customers.
So not static, it's dynamic.
Exactly. Always evaluating, tweaking, looking for new opportunities. 4 main strategies: line extensions, brand extensions, multi-brands, and new brands.
Let's go through those. What are line extensions?
Line extensions are new products, same brand name, within the same category.
So, soda company. New flavor of their existing soda.
Exactly. Offer more variety, maybe attract some new customer.
Expanding within a category. Brand extensions then.
Brand extensions use that existing brand name for a new product in a different category.
That same soda company launches juice or bottled water under their soda brand.
Exactly. Leveraging a strong brand to get into new markets.
Okay, so line extensions, same category. Brand extensions, different category. Got it. What's multi-branding?
Multi-branding is offering several brands in the same category. Think laundry detergent Tide, Cheer, Gain, all those different brands.
So a company creates a whole portfolio of brands, each with its own niche, its own target.
Precisely. Appeals to a broader range of people, helps dominate a market, and finally, new brands. Pretty straightforward.
Create a whole new brand for a new...
You're starting from scratch. But sometimes it's necessary.
Choosing the right strategy for the situation.
Exactly. Your goals, your understanding of the market, it all matters.
All right, we've covered a lot. Product levels, classification, branding, how to develop a brand. Key takeaway as I learn more about marketing.
Key takeaway. Products and brands, they're more than just things. They're benefits, experiences, emotions that connect with people. Good marketing gets that, creates something valuable.
Not just selling stuff, it's about making a connection, making people's lives better. I love that.
Exactly. Now, ready to dive into new product development? This is where innovation happens.
Absolutely. Let's talk about how those groundbreaking products come to life. Back for the final part of our marketing management deep dive. It's been quite a journey.
It has covered a lot.
We have foundations of marketing, the marketing mix, those P's, deep dive into products, services,
A
branding.
lot of ground covered.
We have. But we save the best for last, right? New product development. Where the innovation happens, companies bring those big ideas to market.
Exactly. This is where it all comes to life.
All right, innovation. Why is this new product development so crucial for companies? Why not just stick with what they've got?
Well, standing still, it's like moving backwards these days. Everything moves so fast.
It does.
Consumer preferences are always changing. Technology, the competition. You got to innovate to stay in the game.
Not just survival, it's about growth, staying ahead.
Right. New products, fresh energy, new customers keep things interesting. But I know what you're thinking. This all sounds risky, expensive. Where do you even start?
You read my mind.
Well, two main paths for companies to get new products: acquisition and internal new product development.
Okay, break it down. Acquisition first. What's that all about?
Acquisition, that's buying a whole company, a patent, or the right to make someone else's product.
So buying the innovation instead of creating it from scratch.
Exactly. Quick way to grow your offerings, get into new markets, get that cutting-edge technology. Think Google. They've bought tons of companies over the years: YouTube, Android, Waze.
Right. Part of their success, for sure. What about internal new product development then? What's that process like?
Imagine an obstacle course, multiple stages.
I like that.
Starts with ideas, then you screen those ideas, develop them into concepts, test those concepts, think about your marketing strategy, the business side of it, then actual product development, market testing, and finally launching it.
That's a lot of obstacles.
It can be, but each stage, it's about minimizing risk, making sure this new product is a good idea, meets customer needs, has a real chance of succeeding.
Okay, so let's go through that obstacle course step by step. Where do we even begin?
Idea generation, that's first. Gathering those potential new product ideas.
The brainstorming phase.
Right. And these ideas, they can come from anywhere. R&D teams, employees, customer feedback, even looking at what your competitors are up to.
Casting a wide net. Get all the ideas out there, even the crazy ones.
You got it. Never know where the next big thing will come from, but then you got to screen those ideas.
Separate the good from the bad. Find those winners.
Exactly. Weed out the weaker ideas. Focus on the ones with potential.
What are they looking for? What makes an idea a winner at this stage?
Things like, is there a big enough market for this? How profitable could it be? Can we actually make this thing? Does it fit with our overall strategy, our company values?
Creativity and practicality.
You need both. Spark, but also that realism. Got to make sure it makes sense in the real world.
What happens to the ideas that make it through?
Concept development and testing. You take that raw idea, start fleshing it out.
So instead of a new kind of snack food, you're now thinking specific flavors, ingredients, what the packaging looks like, maybe even a name.
Exactly. Bringing it to life, making it real, something you can test. And then, crucially, you test it with potential customers. Get feedback, make sure they actually want this, and would pay for it.
So not just relying on your gut, you're going straight to the source, the
Yeah.
people who might buy it.
Right. Don't want to waste time and money on something nobody wants. Once you have a validated concept, then you start thinking about the marketing side.
Makes sense. So what happens in the marketing strategy development stage?
This is where you map it out. How are you going to position this new product? What's the price? Where will you sell it? And how will you tell people about it?
The roadmap for bringing this product to market, making it a hit.
Exactly. But before you get too excited about marketing, another crucial step, business analysis.
The numbers. What's going on in this stage?
Time to put on the finance hat. Is this project financially viable? Projecting sales, estimating costs, forecasting those profits?
Making sure it's a smart investment, not just a cool idea.
Right. If everything still looks good, then it's on to product development. This is where the product or service is actually created.
For a physical product, this is prototyping, testing, refining, setting up manufacturing.
Exactly. For a service, designing the process, training materials, any technology you need.
Okay, so now there's an actual thing or a fully developed service.
What's next?
Market testing. You introduce the product to a limited market, see how it does in the real world.
The test run before the big launch.
Perfect analogy. Get feedback, refine your marketing, make tweaks before you go big.
Okay, so if everything goes well, what's the final step?
Commercialization. The big launch, you're releasing it to the whole market.
All that work, all that planning, and now it's showtime.
Right. But launching is just the beginning. It's like sending your kid off to college. You've prepared them, now you have to let them go.
Love that. So what happens after the launch? Just sit back and watch the sales come in? Definitely not. Got to monitor how it's doing, get feedback from those early customers, be ready to adapt.
So it's ongoing, learning, improving, refining.
Exactly. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Now, we got to be honest, not all new products are successful.
True.
Why do some fail? Why do those bright ideas end up, well, not so bright?
Yeah, why do they fail?
Lots of reasons. Sometimes companies overestimate how many people will want it or underestimate the competition. Sometimes the product itself just isn't good or it doesn't really solve a problem.
You got to make sure people actually need it.
Right. And even good products can fail because of bad execution. Maybe the marketing's off, the price is wrong, the distribution isn't working. Lots of moving pieces.
So it's inherently risky, but are there things companies can do to reduce that risk?
Absolutely. Most important, understand their target market. Do the research, listen to feedback, get into the customer's head.
Know your customer.
Exactly. And be willing to change, adapt based on what you learn. Market testing, that's crucial. Find the problems before you launch big.
So be flexible. Listen to feedback.
Right. And then you need a killer marketing plan and execute it well. Doesn't matter how good your product is if nobody knows about it.
Tell a compelling story, grab attention.
Exactly. New product development, it's complex. Art, science, a bit of luck, and a whole lot of work.
Yes.
One final concept connected to all this, the product life cycle.
Okay, product life cycle. Heard of it, but not sure what it means.
It's a model. Describes the typical stages a product goes through. From the beginning to the end, its journey in the market.
Okay, makes sense. What are those stages then?
Starts with development. We talked about that. The idea phase, no sales yet.
Behind the scenes.
Right. Then the introduction stage, the launch. Sales are usually slow at first. People are just learning about it.
This is where marketing is crucial. Building buzz, getting those early adopters.
Absolutely. Lots of marketing spending happens here. Create awareness, educate people.
Makes sense.
If the product does well, then comes the growth stage.
Things take off.
Exactly. Sales climb, the word spreads, competitors might jump in.
Exciting time, but competitive too.
You got it. Companies have to manage that growth, keep up with demand, maintain quality.
Makes sense.
Eventually, most products reach the maturity stage.
So the party can't last forever. What happens then?
Sales growth slows, levels off. Most of the people who are going to buy it have bought it. The market's saturated, lots of competition.
Things get tougher.
They can. You have to stand out from the competition, maybe lower prices, add new features, find new customers, try to extend the product's life.
Give it a makeover. Find ways to stay relevant.
Exactly. But eventually, even the best products enter decline.
The final act. What happens here?
Sales drop, profits shrink, might even become obsolete.
So what do you do with a product in decline?
Few options. Try to revitalize it, milk it for as long as you can, or discontinue it.
Explain those.
Revitalizing means find ways to make it relevant again. Update features, target new customers, even find new uses for it.
Second chance.
Right. Harvesting is about maximizing those short-term profits, cut marketing costs, things like that.
Get what you can while you can.
Yeah. And discontinuation, just take it off the market. Tough decision, but sometimes the best one.
Tough choices. So why is it important to understand this whole life cycle thing?
It's like a crystal ball, almost. Helps companies anticipate what's coming, make smarter decisions about pricing, promotion, all that.
Okay, wow, this has been amazing. We've learned so much. Those 5 core concepts, the new product development process, the product life cycle, mini MBA in marketing.
Me too. But remember, learning never stops. Stay curious.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners as they continue on their marketing journey?
Marketing's always changing, but it's all about people. Understand your customer, create value, exceed expectations, build those real relationships. That's how you win in any business.
It's not about selling, it's about connecting, making life better. On that note, that's our marketing management deep dive. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.